Darvin, just first of all, you had the good start, get up to a 14-point lead. What did you see shift?
Just that we had some unfortunate possessions. Didn't collect some defensive rebounds. Had a couple bad fouls. Didn't take care of the ball. And then, you know, those little things like that didn't come back to bite you in the butt, and it did. But, you know, it was a tough road trip. Finished 2-2. You know, we don't have a settled mentality, but we have to call it like it is. And, you know, to come out of this 2-2, the way we responded in Detroit, knew this was going to be tough at the end of a road trip. Our guys fought, you know, to the best of their ability, and, you know, obviously there's some things we needed to clean up, things we could have done better, but we competed. We tried our best under the circumstances.
Just with all the missing bodies, you know, having to go to a different group in the second unit, the guys that do play having to play more. How do you manage that frustration, you know, as a coach, and how do you just?
I mean, you realize that this is a marathon of a season, and every NBA season is a marathon, and you know, you trust your staff and from medical to the coaches to everyone to try to work diligently to make sure we have our guys available, and that won't change. And so it's unfortunate timing, but again, our players' health is top priority, and it sucks to drop games and to have to do all the adjustments and the thing you mentioned. But at the end of the day, you know, I know what we're going to be. I know once we do get whole, how complete and balanced our attack will be. And so we just have to deal with it in the present and try to, again, put your best foot forward as best as possible.
Darvin, considering where things stand for you guys, you know, just kind of hovering around 500 with a team on Saturday that, you know, you've had some familiarity with. You had one tough game against them earlier already, and then Tuesday is kind of counts for double or triple. Will there be any more urgency from the group to try to get some of these guys who are or have been ramping up to rejoin you?
No, we feel like we got a solid plan and process in place, and so you know, whatever can be done extra, obviously we'll explore that. But right now, we're comfortable with where we are and getting guys, you know, back to playing in a real game. You know, it's just unfortunate things happen. You get these knick-knack injuries, like Jackson, for example. Like, he gets pulled out, and then Cam, you know, he's working him back in. So you have to be smart. You can't be selfish and put them at risk just to, you know, throw them out there to be balanced. But, you know, these other guys are getting opportunity. Max Christie and Jalen, and, you know, those guys, they're getting real NBA minutes, and so they're starting to understand how hard they have to play and what's expected of them against top-tier competition. And so it's always a silver lining. It's always, you know, glass half full. But, you know, we'll take the day off tomorrow and come back, shoot around Tuesday, and continue to try to Saturday, my bad. My mind's all over the place. But come back Saturday morning, have a shoot around, watch some film on us, get prepared for Houston, and try to put our best foot forward, and hopefully, you know, we get some good medical news in between time.
Darvin, two for you. There were a handful of possessions tonight where, like, LeBron just was, like, exhausted. You could see he couldn't get back across midcourt. I know this year started with kind of the plan of, you know, keeping him at his minutes down, but injuries and stuff have sort of, and his level of play have necessitated he play more. Will you guys reevaluate that a little bit as kind of the fatigue and the build of the season kind of starts to pack on?
Yeah, I mean, we playing with the best of them, in my opinion. You know, everything is spelled out in detail. But again, you have to be ready for circumstances and different curveballs that life may throw you, that situations arise that, you know, you plan for. That's why you try to put together a deep roster. But there's some unforeseen circumstances. You know, Rui getting a hairline fracture on his nose, and Cam getting, you know, him being hurt, and Jackson, and so on and so on. So you just have to, you have to be in the moment. You know, yeah, it'd be nice to say, okay, we can guarantee that these next 5 games Brown is going to play. He's not going to play no more than 30 minutes. But it doesn't work that way. You know, again, as you mentioned, his level of play, the limited bodies, the different guys going in and out of the lineup at the pace it's gone thus far in the season, you know, it doesn't call for you to just blindly put in a plan and just try to be stubborn and stick to that plan. It's going to maneuver itself, just, again, based on circumstances, and most times circumstances beyond your control. And so the biggest thing for us is just to make sure, you know, the preparatory and the recovery process is intact, but the game is going to dictate, you know, how we move and who we have available to us. It's going to dictate how many minutes or more or less that he plays.
The second one I would have for you, Justin, you know, we're 20 games in now. You mentioned that you're confident what this team can be. I guess in these first 20 games, have you seen enough of this team hit peaks to really project that out, or, you know, have you felt like it's been more maybe like been pretty good for stretches but uneven?
I mean, we hadn't been whole. We had a starter who started us, you know, once we acquired him and playoffs, and the guy who took on every tough matchup hadn't played one game this year. And how many Gabe has played, what, 4? So it's like you can't, it's impossible to make an assessment. And you have Rui out with concussion protocol, now he's out with a nose issue. Like, then Cam, you know, I mean, we adjusted, tweaked the lineup, Cam comes in, and then now, you know, he has an issue. So it's, you have to continuously just be ready to have a plan B, C, plan B through Z sometimes. But, you know, that said, I just look forward to the day where we can be as whole as possible and really see all of those pieces, really how they maturate. And that's going to be a process within itself. Guys going to have to get readjusted to Gabe, readjusted to Vando. Once Rui comes back, he's got to get back in rhythm. Cam, same thing. You know, we'll see, but that's the fun thing about it. You know, it's basketball, man. And so you have to embrace it and be thankful at all times, even in some of the rougher times. But it's basketball, and we know we have the pieces that once we do get everybody where they're supposed to be physically, that we'll be able to make a ton of headway in terms of how we continue to progress through the season.
Kind of on that note, because of the absences you've had, you know, through 20 games of the season, do you feel like you have a handle on what you guys, I guess, can tangibly improve on, just in, I guess, the next 20 or so games? Just because, you know, if you get guys back, you may progress in some areas, and one of those you may not know, but you don't know, if that makes sense.
Well, I just think you look at the fundamentals of the game. Again, guys really being locked in from an energy and effort standpoint, defending, being solid. We don't have to do anything extraordinary defensively. Just do our work early and stay solid, you know, not giving up, committing cheap fouls or whatnot, getting stops, and then once we force a missed shot, guys, you know, gang rebounding and coming up with as many defensive rebounds as possible. And then offensively playing with pace and force and taking care of the ball. It's that simple. No matter who's in the lineup, those are going to be the ingredients that we continuously try to preach and teach, and that will always give us a chance to be successful at the end of an NBA game. Those things I mentioned, and so that's an ongoing process. That's something we're going to continuously talk about, show and film, work on whenever we get a chance to, whether it's a practice or a shoot around, and just and live with the results. And again, make sure our competitive spirit is high.
Last one.
Darvin, along the 20-game team, what have you been most encouraged by, I guess, over this sample of 20 games, given everything you guys have?
I mean, for the most part, the fight in our group. Just you know, again, guys being in and out of the lineup, some lopsided losses, lopsided wins, close losses, close wins. You know, I think the common denominator, you know, not being loose at times, like I mentioned, the fouls, the turnovers, giving up offensive rebounds. All of that said, I've been really happy with the competitive spirit within this group and the way they support one another and pull for one another. That's been great. That's been great. I mean, we have a great foundation that's being laid, one that's going to continue to grow, and once we get healthy, again, we'll make some significant progress as the season rolls along.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.